James had very little to his name, just a weathered backpack, a pair of worn out shoes, and a strong sense of right and wrong. For years, he drifted through life doing odd jobs, washing dishes, carrying bags, helping street vendors, just to get enough money for a meal and a bed in the city's cheapest shelter. He didn't complain. Life hadn't given him much, but it had taught him to survive. Still, deep down, James believed that if you kept doing the right thing, even when no one was watching, life would notice one day. That day came on a chilly Tuesday morning. James was walking past the entrance of a luxury cafe in downtown, looking for a side gig. He often waited near big buildings, hoping someone might need a helping hand. As he sat down on the curb to rest his legs, something caught his eye. A brown leather wallet lying beside a parked car. He looked around. The sidewalk was empty except for a woman rushing by with headphones in. No one had noticed it. James picked it up carefully, wiping the dust from its surface. The leather was soft and expensive, real leather, the kind he had never owned in his life. Inside, there were several neatly arranged $100 bills, a platinum credit card, and an ID. The name read David Reynolds. James blinked. He knew that name. Everyone in the city did. David Reynolds was one of the most powerful businessmen in town, a real estate mogul with properties stretching across the skyline. He owned restaurants, hotels, and even the building where James had once scrubbed floors during night shifts. For a brief moment, temptation flickered in James's heart. It was more money than he'd held in his hands in years. Maybe ever. He could eat well for weeks, buy new shoes, maybe even rent a small room for a while. But then he looked at the photo on the ID, a man with sharp eyes, proud smile, and two kids standing beside him. Something about that picture struck James. He remembered losing his own father's wallet when he was 9. It wasn't even full of money, but his father had searched the neighborhood for hours, heartbroken. That memory stayed with him. James stood up, holding the wallet tightly. He didn't hesitate after that. David Reynolds was in the middle of a business meeting when the receptionist buzzed him. "There's someone here to see you," she said. "He says he found your wallet." David looked confused. He reached into his coat pocket. Empty. His heart skipped. "Send him in." Moments later, James entered the sleek, glass-walled office. He looked out of place. His clothes faded, shoes dusty, a little nervous in posture but calm in his eyes. He held out the wallet with both hands. "Sir, I found this outside the cafe. Thought you'd want it back." David took the wallet slowly, opening it. Everything was there. Nothing touched. Not a single dollar missing. He looked up, surprised. "You didn't take anything." "No, sir." "You could have?" "Yes, sir." David leaned back in his chair, studying James. Most people wouldn't have brought it back, especially someone who clearly could use the money. James gave a faint smile. "I could have used it, but it wasn't mine, and I was always taught to return what isn't yours." There was a long silence in the room. Finally, David asked, What do you do for a living? Whatever I can find, sir. Lately, not much. David reached into the wallet and pulled out a business card. Come to this address tomorrow morning. Ask for me. James hesitated. Sir, I want to offer you a job. James blinked, unsure if he'd heard right. A job? David nodded. You showed honesty when you had every reason not to. That's rare. I run a company that needs men I can trust. And I think you're exactly the kind of man I want around. The next morning, James stood in front of a glass tower bearing the name Reynolds Group. He'd never entered such a place. He adjusted his collar and stepped inside. A week later, he had a uniform, an ID badge, and his first real job as an office assistant. He ran errands, cleaned desks, helped with deliveries. It wasn't glamorous, but it was steady and it was his. He worked hard, always early, always humble, always ready to help. David watched quietly from a distance. He saw how James treated everyone with respect, from executives to janitors. He heard from staff how polite and eager James was. Within months, David moved him to a front desk job, then to internal logistics. Every time someone asked, why him? David would reply, because he returned my wallet without taking $1. But to James, it was more than a job. It was a new life. He started renting a small apartment, bought new clothes, reconnected with his younger sister who thought he had disappeared. He even enrolled in a night course to finish his education. One rainy afternoon, about a year after that first meeting, David called James into his office again. I've been watching you, he said. You've grown, learned, adapted. I think it's time we talk about your future. James sat up straight. Yes, sir. I want you to lead a new team in our community outreach department. You'll be responsible for helping youth from underprivileged backgrounds find job opportunities, just like you found yours. James's eyes widened. Sir, I don't know what to say. Say yes, David smiled, and never lose the heart that made you return that wallet. It's your greatest strength. James nodded, eyes wet. Yes, 100 times yes. Years passed. James became a well-respected leader in the company, known not just for his work, but for his humility and honesty. He helped dozens of young people off the streets, guiding them the way David had once guided him. And in his wallet, now full of business cards and receipts, James kept a photo of the old brown wallet he once found, the one that changed everything, because kindness, he believed, doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be real.